What's up guys, Tyler here, coming at you with the first video in about a month. I know it's been a while, but I haven't really had much to talk about, so I didn't make videos, but now, Ninja Kiwi has released the new balance changes that will be coming out in update 4.3. It's on their Facebook page, so we're going to kind of take a look at them, talk about them, speculate, and yeah, let's just hop right into it. So the first tower we have here on the list is the Dart Monkey. It's got two changes listed right next to it. First one is the triple darts, which was nerfed in 4.1 drastically from 400 to 500. Now Ninja Kiwi decided to go back on that a little bit, knock it down to 475. This is mainly in response to a lot of people complaining about it. It's a lot of people upset about the triple darts price being increased to that, which is fair. And this decrease, I suppose, is meant to try to alleviate the complaints a little bit, I guess. I don't know how much a change it's going to make. I guess any, price buff is a good one. It's obviously not, where it was before, so it'll still be weaker than it used to be before 4.1. But I mean, I guess like the extra $25 might come in handy a little bit. It's probably not as impactful as the other Dart Monkey change here, the 3.0 Spike-a-Pult. The Spike-a-Pult was just about useless before this update. 18 Pierce and a tiny fire rate, and it would only fire in a straight line, so usually it wouldn't get all 18 pops unless it was like positioned correctly and on the right map and all that yada yada yada. So they decided to buff it up to 40, which is more than double. So that's actually a pretty big change, I'd say. It could definitely come into play on maps like Temple or other maps with straight lines. Like I said before, you really did not want to use the Spike-a-Pult under any circumstance. It fires at about half the fire rate, a bit better than half the fire rate of the Triple Dart Monkey, and it costs about the same, even with the price decrease. The Spike-a-Pult's about $35 cheaper than the Triple Darts. So anyways, this actually might be a good change for the Spike-a-Pult. Yeah, it's, slow fire rate may make it difficult to use, but I see it having use on Temple. People could just plop down a Spike-a-Pult and they probably save money on triple darts. Maybe most like Dart Monkey strategies could swap out one or two, maybe like 3 triple darts for 2 Spike-a-Pult, save a little bit of money there, and still have like decent group balloon popping power. Because I mean, as good as like triple darts are against, well, pretty much everything, they still like won't solo or like a giant Rainbow Rush or a giant like Lead Rush. Obviously, you'll still need to get a Juggernaut for a Lead Rush, but like Spike-a-Pult will probably help out clean the stuff underneath. There's like a bunch of other maps actually where you can make use of this. Like Dread Balloon has some straight lines, Offside has some, there's Yellow Brick Road, there's the Battle Sands, I think it's called. I'm used to it being called Pyramid Steps, but I digress. It's completely unrelated. So yeah, I think we can see Spike-a-Pult taking a little step in the meta, especially with Cobra being rampant. I feel like Spike-a-Pult spam will be a bit more cost-effective than Jug spam. I mean, you'll obviously still need 2 or 3 Juggernauts to deal with the ceramic and lead layers, but after that, I mean, Spike-a-Pults in the back may not be bad. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. I didn't really do the math of cost efficiency of Spike-a-Pult versus Juggernaut, but I assume it's good, so I'm hoping to see some Spike-a-Pults in the meta. Next up, we got the Monkey Ace here, with 3 changes, all which are kind of just small steps in typical Ninja Kiwi fashion. I guess the only, time they really made like bold changes were in 4.1. I guess those were like the first drastic changes. Ninja Kiwi realized they got some backlash, so now I guess they're back to buffing towers in very small increments. So never miss targeting. Price decrease from 2,200 to 1,800. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, never miss certainly didn't see too much play. It was certainly overshadowed by the power of the Operation Darkstorm. I think it still will be, but I guess you'll kind of have a reason to do it. Maybe if you're just going only Monkey Ace, you'll feel a bit more comfortable going never miss target. I guess there's also an indirect buff to Spectre, which is also buffed by itself by about $1,000, so, that's how much the price decrease is. People didn't really get Spectre too much otherwise. Like, I mean, it's fan-fucking-tastic against, grouped balloons and all that, but 17,000 an upgrade that's just great against group balloons. Like, it sucks against, grouped Moabs, for example, and BFBs. It's terrible against those. So I don't think it'll have that much use still. Maybe it'll be a bit easier to spam. when you hit round 32, so you can just get a bunch of Spectres and then ground 0 spam to the ZOMGs, but I think it'll still be too expensive to actually pull that off. Still, you can hope. Anyways, for the other side of the Monkey Ace, ground 0, the ability damage increased from 350 to 400. Again, another small step. Certainly a fair buff for the ground 0. I know the price got nerfed a while back, and of course the damage got nerfed, but I'm kind of happy like they didn't increase the damage to something insane, because that would just make mid-game extremely uninteractive. Like, I mean, damn near one-shotting BFBs is certainly not fun in any way, whether you're playing with or against it. So, I mean, I guess like this buff was specifically so it has a better chance post round 32. You know, maybe it'll do a little bit better. Will it be enough? I guess we'll have to play test to find out. For our third tower here, we have the Helipilot, which has only one buff, but it's an interesting one nonetheless. It's the Razor Rotors, and the attack speed is increased by 50%, and this upgrade is shit in general. It's honestly trash. I think like the one time I used it, I got like a single 3-0 Helipilot, and it knocked grouped green balloons down to grouped reds, some grouped blues in there, and that was like honest trash, especially for a tower that costs somewhat close to 4,000. Yeah, 3,500, 4,000. It's up there. It's reasonably expensive, and it can't even handle greens, which is honestly really bad. So increasing the attack speed by 50% might be a fair buff for it. Will it bring it into use? I mean, maybe you'll do a bit better early game, but I don't think. You know, I mean, maybe like, you know, eco strategies with the Helipilot might be able to take off. It's a stretch, though. Regardless, I'm glad that a very shit upgrade at least got some love. You know, it gives you a better chance to, you know, make things work if you just have it in a random loadout, for example. Alright, next up here, we got a buff that goes out to all the people that still think the Monkey Wizard is the best tower in the game. Ninja Kiwi was like, no, it's not good. It still needs buffs. So it is doing just that. They're just buffing the Fireball, which is, in my opinion, one of the best upgrades of the Monkey Wizard. The, you know, the 001 upgrade with the Fireball. It basically functions as a cheap 0-0 bomb tower that also kind of pops leads and can be easily upgraded to pop camos. It's reasonably cost effective at defending group balloons. Obviously, I mean, you'll probably still need lightning and like Dragon's Breath for late game, but the 0-1 Fireball is decently spammable and can help out against mid-game rushes a lot. Last time, Explosion Rays was increased by 20%. The Mortar, that was what it was on, that got started to see play because of its Explosion Radius buff. Will this make Monkey Apprentice good enough? You know, I mean, maybe it'll make it like tier 2. It certainly won't be top tier, I don't think, because like the rest of the Wizard's still lacking. But I kind of think this upgrade will at least make Wizard using justified. Like, I mean, I know people love to shit on strategies that aren't top tier, but sometimes I guess people just love to use Wizards. So, I mean, good for them. They'll be able to use this, and the Fireball will help out at least a little bit more. But, you know, that's really all it's going to do. It's just going to help out the Wizard lovers just a bit. So good for them. Next up here, we got the Monkey Buccaneer, which is one of the towers I really like, and I feel has just been outclassed by the Monkey sub in almost every way, you know, in the past while. So these buffs are hopefully going to be useful. First off, the base price is decreased from $525 to $450. It's a $75 price buff, which will allow you to more easily spam boats early game. I mean, you know, they're reasonably powerful early game, like you just get a 0-1 boat with the, you know, the attack darts and the grape shot, and that does really well against early balloons, although it might be on the bit expensive side. This helps knock it down a bit. I believe it'll just cost $950, which is same cost as a Spike-a-Pult, and that will handle all red balloons and most blue balloons. Maybe you just need to get up a second 0-0 boat and you can deal with it, which is a reasonably cost-effective way to deal with balloons, considering, you know, it has the restriction of only being on water. Maybe there'll be some way to do like boat farm because it's cost effective early game. Although a big weakness of the boat is that it has shit third tier upgrades, like they're really weak, so they're buffing the destroyer by $700. That is a large buff. Will that be good enough? I mean, potentially. They're knocking it down to damn near the price of the cannon ship. And I mean, that's not too bad against group balloons. I think a lot of people forget about how fast the destroyer fires and how decent it is against Moabs. I mean, you just get like 2 or 3 and you can handle Moabs and ceramics inside. Well, okay, a couple Moabs, like space Moabs. I think you need a bit more for group Moabs. But again, like, if they're knocking down the price that cheap, like, it'll be a lot better spammable, which might give the boat a better use for, you know, mid to late game. Considering the boat has one of the stronger abilities in the game, especially as it goes late, the boat pull, which just sucks in the BFB hole, which can be extremely useful. You know, I'm surprised the boat doesn't see that much more use. But, I mean, these, you know, early game buffs may justify it, may make it an all-around better tower. Personally, I'll be trying out some boat strategies in water, like Hydro Dam, for example. Hydro Dam and Yin Yang are 2 maps where boats can really shine over submarines because there's not an excellent reactor spot. So I'll definitely be trying out boats there, see if it works. I don't know, though, if it will be that effective, but we can only hope. Next up, we got the tack shitter, which seems really complicated because there's like 4 bullet points here, but it all kind of works for the same cause. I mean, so the right side upgrades, up to 3rd tier, the blade shooter, all of them have a price buff, so I guess the idea was to get the blade shooter into the meta because no one really used blade shooter. The only time people would buy it was on the path to getting the blade maelstrom ability, which is great against regen rainbow rushes. You can just whip it out and surprise your opponent just like real life. So anyways, yeah, I guess that's been buffed. The only time tack shooter has really been used is for this eco strategy that involves tack shooter, ninja, and village. I think it's only really viable on longer maps, and I imagine it mainly utilizes Ring of Fire and Ninja. It does not touch the Blade Shooter much, but perhaps, potentially, the Blade Shooter could come into use with these price spots. I don't think they're that drastic. I don't think it'll specifically bring the Blade Shooter into play. Considering, I mean, you also want to get the Blade Shooter upgrade to the left side for faster attacks, because just the 0-3 is pretty weak. It'll be still a lot more expensive than the 3-0 and worse against Moab. Sure, I guess it'll be better against group balloons, but how much better, really? I don't think people will be using blade shooters for group bot and power. There's many more cost-effective outcomes out there. What I am surprised is, you know, despite the early tier buffs, the Blade Maelstrom just got nerfed to counter it. And Q is like, no, I guess the Blade Maelstrom's perfectly fine where it is. We don't want it to like be too overpowered, although I don't think the $100 is really going to make a difference. Sometimes I guess you're like $100 short of a Blade Maelstrom and you wish it was just a little bit cheaper, but I mean, that's just a weird, rare scenario that, you know, things were going south anyways. So I don't know, I don't think too much is going to change with the tack shooter. Maybe I'll try out Blade Shooter, but it's not going to be that powerful. And last but not least, I guess this is in other changes, so it's not a tower change, but it's a change to the balloon send. The fast cooldown ZOMG eco penalty is increased from -600 to -900. I honestly don't think that's going to do much. It's not often that eco players send fast cooldown ZOMGs, and when they do, they intend to end the game right then, right there, right at that time. So yeah, I can't see it making that much a difference. Regardless if it's -600 or -900, if the eco player sends out, I don't know, 5, 6, 8, 10 ZOMGs, their eco is going to be 0 regardless. So I don't think it's that drastic of a change. I think decreasing the penalty for space ZOMGs may actually make a difference as well, because usually, I mean, eco players, if they want to harass, like, for example, Cobra, Mortar, Bomb, that strategy will sometimes send out, like, a single space ZOMG on round 22 to harass or sometimes even kill. If that got knocked down to, like, -900, maybe it'd make a difference, but even then, I guess it'd be slight. This change is very minor. I don't think it's going to make too big a difference. So, yeah, it's whatever. So all in all, in my opinion, the changes are okay. Again, like I mentioned before, Ninja Kiwi doesn't want to do any big drastic changes this time because I guess they're afraid of community outlash. So they're kind of just going back to their normal small steps. So I mean, it's an overall positive thing, but nothing big. A lot of people, at least in the Facebook comments, are mentioning a lack of Cobra buff, or sorry, lack of Cobra nerf. Wow, words. Which is justified. They're talking about misdirection and the balloon adjustment, which I guess did not get touched in here at all without a notification from Ninja Kiwi. So I guess let me know in the comments what you think about that. I think that might be a big deal. I guess, you know, it's still beatable. However, the only thing that may change up how Cobra is played is the Dart Monkey buffs. Maybe not particularly triple dart. Sure, I guess the, you know, price buff may help out Dart Farm a little bit. But potentially the Spike-a-Pult spam might prove well against balloon adjustment. Like, it'll be better to have 10 Spike-a-Pults instead of 10 triple darts. I don't know. But that'll be weaker against Moabs, for example. It's hard to see if that'll make a difference. On the bright side, you'll still have Ninja Mortar Farm to defeat Cobras. And Cobras also get neutered by Engineers pretty well. Although it's a bit of a toss-up, and it depends on what you use alongside the Engineer too. So, I mean, overall, it's not too bad. I particularly like the boat buff and the, where is it? The wizard buff. I guess the heli pilot's buff is alright too. I'll just be trying out all these towers. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the balance change in the description. I mean, you know, it might change up gameplay a little bit. We'll see. I'll just have fun noodling around, see if there's any new strategies that come out. I'm gonna bet no, but I guess we'll see. So yeah, crossing our fingers that when this update does come out, it'll, you know, be soon and we'll actually be able to play it. Because yeah, I just haven't uploaded in a while because there's been a lack of content. I've just mainly been playing Hearthstone. Speaking of Hearthstone, by the way, about an hour after this video comes up, I guess you'll see a notification for a live stream. I'm going to be trying to live stream Hearthstone on YouTube because that's a game I play way more than Bloons. So I would totally recommend you check that out. Strategy game, lots of fun, involves cards, I guess, and it's some randomness, but there's a lot of strategy in it, so I imagine you guys would enjoy that quite a bit. So yeah, catch you all later. Peace out.